Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. It's Britt, creator of The Style Shaker, your guide to greener and cleaner beauty. And today I'm back with a dedicated product review for the Inika Concealer. I'm gonna tell you all about this. That's the intro, let's get into it. Quick disclaimer, no one is paying me to say any of this. This is not sponsored, this is my honest opinion. I bought this and let's go. Here's what they say about this product. It's the Inika Organic Perfection Concealer, 29 bucks, available in 3 shades. A low number, real low. Let's not judge it. Okay. Hides blemishes, dark circles, and pigmentation. It is hydrating and lightweight, they say, and they also mention that it's suitable for even the most sensitive of skin. So those are the key features that I'm calling out and will tell you whether or not they're ringing true for me at the end of this video in the wrap up. First, I'm gonna go through the Style Shaker scorecard pretty quickly, so buckle up. The first question is about ingredients. It's always about ingredients. What's inside? How do you decode these labels? It's complicated, but it's actually not that hard if you check out the free guide, but still, I'm gonna do it for you. Overall, the ingredients, they looked good to me. I didn't see any major red flags there. I list them in the bottom of this video description, so if you wanna take a minute and do some light reading, you can check them out, and I added the EWG rating. It is not a perfect science, but it is enough to kind of get you thinking about what you wanna use and what you might not wanna use. Okay, so the coverage on this, does it conceal? Does it hide pigmentation? Does it do what we want it to do? I gave it a 4 out of 5 on coverage because it really actually did cover well. It's a very lightweight formula. It feels very liquidy when it comes out of this tube, and it threw me off when I first felt it. But after I apply it, it settles in quickly, so it's not slick. It doesn't feel liquidy when it's on. It does sort of absorb pretty well and set a little bit, and from there it's not necessarily very tacky, but you just press it in with your finger. I found that to work really well. And overall, the coverage here, it's not full coverage. It doesn't claim to be full coverage, but I'm just letting you guys know that I would say this is more on the lighter coverage end of the spectrum. Natural, is it natural looking? Does skin still look like skin? Oftentimes with concealers, they sit on top of the skin for me. FYI, I have combination skin. It's not necessarily dry underneath the eye, but it's not oily. So it's like combo. Depends on the day, depends on the season. I feel like a lot of people have combination skin, but just so you know my skin type and where this review is coming from, my skin did look like skin. It looked very natural under daylight, under sunlight. I'd say that was probably one of the better parts, or kind of the distinctive qualities of this concealer versus something else. It does look more natural, it really, really does. And I think that has a little bit to do with the lighter weight formula. I received a 5 out of 5 on the scorecard for looking natural. Number 4, is it a non-irritating formula? I had no issues here. My skin usually doesn't freak out, although recently it's kind of had some moments with some different products. This did not irritate anything under my eye. I did use it as spot treatment elsewhere. It worked okay. It wasn't like phenomenal. I would say for pigmentation, by the way, this is good, but for acne, this is probably not going to be your best bet. So I'm just kind of throwing that in there. Got a 5 out of 5. Does it blend and build well? I think it blended very well under my eye. I did set it. Even before I set it, I tried building it. I'm not going to say the building was very impactful. I think it blends well, yes. I think building, you could build, but it didn't really get me anywhere per se. So overall, I got a 3 out of 5 on the scorecard there. And shade range, that's one of my key questions. So with 3 shades available here, it's just not good enough. It's just not. It got a 1 out of 5 on the scorecard. Very sad shade range. I have nothing else to say there. And in terms of sustainability and the environmental, the green part of this review. So this is cruelty-free, vegan, and they do use certified organic ingredients. It's checking all the boxes on that end of the spectrum. In terms of packaging, product packaging, I haven't heard back from them. This is plastic. It looks recyclable. Is it 100% recyclable? You know, because it wasn't made from post-consumer recycled material and you still have to recycle it. It's not glass, it's more net new plastic. It dinged things a little bit. It brought down the score to a 3 instead of it being a 5 out of 5 on the scorecard. The total score for this concealer is a 21 out of 30 on the scorecard. Not a bad score, not the best score. So here's the wrap up. Perez. All right, so talked about hiding blemishes and covering dark spots and things like that. I think it does do that. I don't think it is the heavy duty version of that, but if you're looking for something more natural, then sure. this will fit the bill. Hydrating and lightweight. I did find it to be very lightweight. Hydrating, I'm not so sure. I couldn't really tell, but lightweight, yes. Suitable for even the most sensitive skin types. So as I look at the ingredients here, lactic acid, but really there is some coconut oil in here. Maybe it's good for sensitive skin. It didn't hurt my skin. I think somebody with a very sensitive skin type probably might. This seems like a long list to me, but I can't give you a solid answer on being good for sensitive skin types because I don't have super sensitive skin. So I'm just gonna leave that to the public. If you have used this and you have sensitive skin and it did something, please do let us know in comments. Really helpful. If not, then that's okay. So the rest of the pros really in my mind are that it's a very natural looking concealer. So for those of us that don't want the heavier concealer, the concealer that looks like concealer, then this is a really wonderful option. It also did not crease for me. So anybody with fears about things settling into fine lines, I didn't have an issue. And I did set it with a setting powder as well, but I didn't really need to. It's just not the brightening concealer that I like. I really like a brightening concealer. I'm not saying something that looks like white under here, not the overly made up concealer, getting a little personal, but this kind of is missing the boat there. Also, the shade range is obviously a negative. Sorry, it's just not sorry. It's really low in terms of shade range. I'm trying to think of some other cons. I really can't. It just depends on what you're looking for. So overall, would I repurchase this? Yeah, I would buy this again. I actually really like it. I think this would be a nice everyday concealer, lightweight. You really don't have to fuss with it much. It really applies nicely with the finger. So I really liked it. But then again, it worked for my skin shade. So, I mean, like, I would recommend this also for people who are worried again about things settling into fine lines or creasing. It wasn't very emollient to me. Like the RMS on Cover Up can be a little bit shiny looking. I love it, but it's a different vibe. This, while liquidy, it does kind of adhere to the skin, which makes me think this could be something good for an oilier skin type, because oftentimes when I recommend a concealer for oilier skin types, it's usually a little denser, a little thicker. I rarely recommend a lightweight concealer for oilier skin type. I don't know what the deal is there, or it's more like velvet finish. This is different. I just think, my guess is that it might be something to consider for oilier skin types, and you can set it, of course, and do the whole thing there. But for brightening, for me, I wouldn't use it. Like I mentioned, I would go back to the Hint Duet Perfecting Concealer. I would use the Ilia concealer that I now love. Those are two of my favorite brightening concealers. Fit Glow is really good. It's a little heavy for me every day. But yeah, if I need that brightening, which I tend to love, that's where I would go. So there you have it. That is it in a nutshell, the review for the Inika Organic Perfection Concealer. I hope this helps you figure out whether or not you want to buy it or pass. And if you enjoyed this video, please make sure you give it a thumbs up to support the channel. Also, if you have a favorite concealer, don't keep it a secret. Let us know. Post it down below and share. Everybody wants to know. And it's really just nice to have the additional feedback. If you do have a favorite concealer, could you also include your skin type in there so people know what to look for? Kind of just helps qualify those favorites a little bit, I found. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And that's all I have to say. I will see you guys right back here real soon for another review. Until then, bye.